Hello and welcome back to our Retire Early lifestyle. The move abroad hoax is collapsing in real time. Have you noticed how the retire abroad media never talk about all the Americans that are returning back to the U.S.? Why is that? There are two narratives here, the going abroad narrative and the coming back narrative. And the coming back story is huge. When thousands of expats move abroad because of what they were told and then find out it isn't what they were sold, you don't think some of them are going to talk? The move abroad agenda is like a used car lot with a wheeler dealer telling you how great the cars are and you should buy one today. And that's what we're going to talk about. Number 1. The live in luxury on $1,000 in Thailand, Vietnam, or Mexico narrative has been collapsing for a while now. Come on, you influencers can come up with something better than that, can't you? How about telling people how it really is? Just coming here and thinking that you can live on $1,000 is not real. So maybe it's possible for the locals, but would you want to do that? That's the real question. The media influencers were pushing the luxury life for $1,000 5 years ago, and it was falling apart then. I just did a YouTube search about the live in luxury on $1,000 in 2026, and no one is clicking on them anymore. Look for yourself. Here's just a fraction of those videos, and they have no views. People aren't going to waste their time watching these videos because they now know it is simply not true, which proves a point. The general go-abroad public is always late to the party. But not you, because you're watching our channel and have been listening to us for 15 years. So 15 years ago, it was challenging for us to stay within our $1,000 monthly cost of living budget abroad. And this was in a country that at the time was considered cheap. The thing with the $1,000 budget is people have to lower their sights a bit. You'll have to rent in the local pricing structure and eat out off the beaten tourist strand and not buy the imported favorite food items at the grocery stores that Americans so much love. And it also means you won't be driving your own car but taking public transportation. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. But we think most Americans will not stick to the local pricing structure when they live abroad. This is what we've seen anyway. And in any case, it flies right in the face of the luxury narrative. When you're having to live in a studio and sit on crowded buses with locals, it kind of melts that luxury right off pretty quickly, doesn't it? Number 2, Mexico is safe story. Now, this fairy tale is collapsing fast. It's strange that we can actually make videos telling Americans that a country is safe when we know full well that it is not a safe country. Who would do such a thing anyway? Oh, I know, the vested interests do that. Let's start with the food and water. The water anywhere in Mexico is terribly unsafe to drink. No matter what anyone tells you in a video, it is going to make you sick and give you parasites. So that safety is out the window. Hundreds of people became violently ill in February and March of 2026 while staying at an all-inclusive, really supposed to be high-end resort in Cancun. Some of these folks were leaving to go back to Canada, while at the airport, they became so violently ill they had to go to the hospital. It was later reported they had E. coli and foodborne parasites. Does that sound safe to you? What is going on in Mexico? These reports are not a one-off thing either. Food and or alcohol poisoning is reported every couple of months in Mexico. And get this, the disreputable resort where they all got sick this time was trying to get the victims to sign NDAs so they couldn't talk about it once they left the resort. Have you ever heard of the food hygiene guidelines when you move to Latin America? If you can't peel it, boil it, bake it, or fry it, don't eat it? Well, In Latin countries, they should also say, if you don't untab it, uncork it, or unscrew it yourself, don't drink it. So, with the crime spikes, the alcohol and food and water poisonings, the Mexico is safe narrative flies completely out the window. Mexico is collapsing fast. We lived in North Baja, Mexico for 3 years, not on the border, and during that time there were 2 instances where we thought we were being targeted for a kidnapping. And with all that said, only people with no sense would be gullible enough to drive into Mexico and or live anywhere in this crime-ridden country. Number 3, everyone is so nice. That's a collapsing narrative, folks. Some of our viewers have commented that they keep hearing how everyone is so nice in Southeast Asia. But the truth is, there are nice people and there are not so nice people in every country on the planet. No country on earth has a population where everyone is so nice that you fall off your rocker because you're being showered with kindness. It simply does not exist. And when you move abroad, you will discover how true that statement really is. On another note, there are some countries that have mostly non-confrontational people. They'd rather not say anything than come off as being impolite or confrontational. But once you leave and go to Europe, it will be a totally different vibe. People are reporting that the Spaniards are downright rude, which fits the growing anti-American sentiment over there. However, it could just be the Spaniards are not rude at all and are just standoffish with people they don't know. Many cultures are like this, especially outside of Latin America. We know that Italians can be rude too, and it's not that they necessarily hate you, it's just how they are. Of course, some of this anti-American sentiment is because some Americans are a bit ugly themselves when they move and travel abroad. When there are very many of the ugly ones, it can ruin it for the nice Americans. Just saying, there is always 2 sides to a story. Number 4, you'll have better quality of life when you move abroad. Really? How can that be? When so many Americans are moving back home because of something gone awry with their quality of life. The reasons for returning run the gamut, from running out of money, missing family and friends, or just plain homesickness. But regardless of the reason that is given, most expats come back home. So then, where is the better quality of life? It might appear better to a 30-something influencer that is still on her honeymoon in Portugal. It's funny because all you got to do is just a little bit of research, just a little bit, to see why Americans return home in the first place. And you'll quickly see how this narrative falls flat on its face. If you listen close enough and look through the initial excuse, they all say the same thing. It's not what I thought. And since what they thought was formulated in their mind by what they were told, then it's not what I was told would be accurate. It's just that most people don't want to say that. We're not saying that there are not some instances where Americans love where they moved and have already lived there for more than 5 years, but that's the minority of people. Number 5, the top 10 best countries to live or retire in the world narrative. Excuse me, but according to who? Who is saying they are the 10 best countries? Could it be the Global Retirement Index that the Rams put out each year? Or is it the travel influencers trying to garner up some clicks and business with their 10 best countries for that month or year? Because these 10 best lists change all the time. We'd really like to know the answer though. Who's saying this? 10 best is just a title that has shown to get some clicks and in a wild way. People think they're really going to be shown the 10 best countries in the world, but there is no such thing. 10 best is mostly made up of a person's personal preferences and experiences, and so you tell us how that can be everyone's best? And quite frankly, seeing all of the expats coming back home from the 10 best countries tells me that wherever they're going, it's not working in one of the 10 best they moved to. We quit clicking on the 10 best titles ages ago. They're so boring and a dime a dozen. It's strange to us they still even get views. Number 6, moving abroad for the American dream. Anyone who tells you the American dream is in another country is feeding you disinformation, thanks mostly to the internet. The idea of the American dream, such as the Portugal dream or the Malaysian dream, can be manufactured in those countries. But once you leave America, you left the potential of creating that dream in your own home country. People that leave America searching for the American dream, they fall for the fairy tale lies. What's happening here is some people are facing financial challenges in the USA and are told that it's going to be better for them financially if they move abroad. But once you start living your life, you'll see that your cost of living may be better than the USA, but something's missing from your life and you're just not happy. The foreignness of another country is adventuresome and fun at first, but then after the newness wears off, it all starts to become overwhelming. And we'll see most of you back here in 2 years and the rest of you before the 5-year mark. This is why on this channel we say instead of escaping your problems, it's better to face them and find solutions in your home country. And if escape is burning strongly in your mind, you can do that too in your own country. How is it really better to live in a foreign country for a U.S. citizen? Well, let's break it down. Cost of living, healthcare, and weather. Let's talk about those to round out this video. Number 1, it might be less expensive, but the way Americans like to live abroad and all the hidden costs that come with moving and living abroad, you're probably not going to save that much money. We've had expats confide this with us. In fact, Americans scoff at negotiating and saving a little money on rent. They'd rather keep up the Joneses facade abroad. And have you even tried to negotiate when there's other expats waiting in line to take that same apartment? If you don't negotiate, well, good luck with that one. That's what ends up happening in every 10 best on the globe. So it's a bad idea and is the whole reason why Americans become targets abroad in the first place. So keeping up with the Joneses facade is a bad idea and is the whole reason why Americans become targets abroad. The healthcare might be less expensive, but the quality might not be up to par. Is that why Americans always come home when they have something major happen with their health? That's always been an odd thing to us, that Americans move abroad for the cheaper health care, but come back home for health emergencies, surgeries, and that sort of thing. It appears that health care abroad is a fairy tale. And number 3, the weather can be somewhat better in some of these countries, especially if you don't like snow and cold. But again, weather and climate are both preferences and are an opinion. Some people love hot and humid of Panama and the southern states in the U.S., while others go for the milder, cooler weather found in Ecuador or in the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, or Oregon. You see, the U.S. also has weather diversity. If you don't like snow, move to a different state or city where it doesn't snow or rarely snows. Bottom line, moving abroad, chasing the weather is a terrible, terrible reason to uproot your entire life and move to a foreign country. It doesn't work. We've made videos asking expats this piercing question. What would you be willing to give up from your American life in order to have better weather? Would you give up clean water? Would you give up safety? Would you give up familiarity? Starting to get the picture now? And so in the end, how does moving to a lower cost country really stack up against everything else you're going to be dealing with when you move to that foreign country? I mean, that's the real question, and we all need to be honest with ourselves. Number 7. Americans are moving abroad in record numbers. This is pure and utter balderdash, folks. Of course they are counting all of those people who are not U.S. citizens and have since gotten deported or self-deported, which is in the millions in just 2 years. And the U.S. borders are tightened up now, and is why less people are moving to the USA. The bottom line is this immigration jargon is something totally different than Americans expatriating abroad, and they should not be lumped together as if they are somehow connected. I don't want to go into the whole thing here again because we've already made a video on this subject, but this video right here shows the facts and the truth. The move abroad industry is full of propaganda intended to entice you to move abroad. Just remember that. The folks that push the retire and move abroad agenda onto the public in the way they do are just like insider traders. They want you to think everyone is moving abroad to escape the terrible USA. They're leaving America in record numbers. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out. Here's what we say about FOMO. Go take a vacation right now, wherever you want to go, so you won't feel like you're missing out on anything. You'll be ready to come home after a month on a vacation. Vacations as a tourist are great. Foreign residencies and living abroad, not so great. And that is according to expats that have gone before you. Okay? So thanks for watching our videos, and take care, everyone. Bye-bye.